Greetings, everybody. Welcome. It's Rob from Sage Tower Games, and today I'm going to make you guys a little video showing you how to build a deck in Marvel Champions, Marvel CDB, the website. This is going to be a specific actual dive into just building a deck. There's going to be another video kind of showing you the website and showing you what to do with the website. This is me just going to be an example of how to do it with an actual deck. So the deck I've chosen to build is the Gamora deck, specifically a Gamora Justice deck, just to see how it works. So the way it's going to work is, because in my opinion, how Gamora likes to play a lot of events, so I'm looking to kind of help boost some of that, maybe play some thwarting stuff so she can kind of deal with that, maybe also some attack cards. So I may use her to replace my Spider-Woman in my actual game. So first things first, let's look at Justice. Now, events are where it kind of matters for her. So let's think about which ones really benefit her. So we could play... Impede is a good one, so let's just toss 2 in there for that. I also think Beat Cop is also good, just as a general card to have in there. Under Surveillance is always good for campaign games in general. I like Jessica Jones in the deck. I just feel like she's a solid pick. Now we got to figure out more events that we kind of want. Do we want Concussive Blow? Confusing the enemy could be good. Let's add that on. We'll add up 4 Justice. It's not terrible. We'll probably add 2 Power of Justice just because we have quite a few Justice cards. At this point, I kind of like to, when I get to about 25 or so cards, I like to go to the basic cards and kind of make sure I have enough room for those cards in my deck. So in this case, Energy, Genius, Strength. Now, because she's not an Avenger, she can't play Queen Carrier. She could play Nowhere, but that doesn't help us because we're not really heavy on that. I can play CITT. Ready a Guardian character. That could be useful to ready myself. Also, depending on if I have any other allies I kind of want to throw in there. I don't think Drax is helpful in this case. Groot might be good to block for us, so I'll toss Groot in. I am going to toss Rocket in, and then I'll toss a CITT in. Other than that, no other cards really help us that much. So at this point, I'm going to hop back to my Justice cards and kind of look and see what we have here. So I have 4 allies between Nebula, Jessica, Groot, and Rocket. I've got Beat Cop to kind of give me some threat removal. 4 Justices, even though it's kind of... might be better off using like a Lay Down the Law or... on the other ones, the issue is, can I afford to flip back and forth? That's the question. Well, let's actually try it. If I get rid of 4 Justice, and you can see as you get rid of a card, they just pop out. I'm going to flip that with Lay Down the Law. Then I'm going to go Pivotal Moment. So it's an attack. I'm doing a lot of like attack and threat removals. So that's possible. None of these are really... Turn the Tide could be okay, actually. Because if I turn the Tide, I can thwart, remove it, and then still do 3 damage, plus my ability would be another 1 damage potentially. So that's 4 damage I can do to someone. I'm gonna play Heroic Intuition. How many cards do I have left? I have 36 cards. So we'll do 2 Heroics and 2 Sense of Justices. So we have 18 events, 5 resources, nothing crazy there. Are there any cards that we aren't thinking about kind of wanting? Like, so Cosmo is interesting, but I don't really want to use Cosmo kind of in like a suit in this deck. Drax is okay, but the scenario I'm trying to build this deck for might not work for Drax. There's a lot of minions, so he may not be that useful. Root helps because he can block. Rocket does 4 damage overkill, so he can actually chunk quite a few minions potentially. With the CITT, we can ready ourselves in case we run into trouble. And we have a bunch of attacks and thwart cards to kind of deal with that. Other than that, I think the rest of the cards, nothing's jumping out at me as really... Like, we have Nowhere, but I think Nowhere is a lot better for someone like Star-Lord, who draws a card, I think, every time from that. Team building doesn't work for her because she just has Outlaw as the only actual characteristic. So we're going to keep this deck, and we're going to do a Gamora test deck. Oh, I just realized we didn't even do any of the aggression cards that we talked about. We were going to do Chase Him Down, Into the Fray, and Relentless Assault. Which means we got to get rid of some cards here. Silly me. So in that case, we'll get rid of Turn the Tide. We'll get rid of Heroic Intuition. And Sense of Justice. That way we have Chase Him Down to kind of defeat an enemy, remove threat. Into the Fray, and Relentless Assault helps us deal with minions a bit more. So we'll try that one. Kind of see our mana curve. A lot of 2s, so a good amount of 1s, a lot of 3s actually. Our deck is pretty expensive, so we got to keep that in mind. And we kind of will draw some cards to kind of show you. So, well, it looks like they don't have the graphics yet for the new cards, but in a hand like this, for instance, I would, get rid of this. Get rid of like these 3 cards, for instance. And then we kind of see, how our hand will look. Even though we have a lot of energy, it's not the best, but that's just a way to show you. Good thing to know that these cards are not actually in here. And then we'll take this deck, put it into the actual Marvel Champions on Tabletop Simulator, and try it out for a spit and see how it goes. So, and that's pretty much it. As you can see, it's very easy to build a deck. It's essentially, once you kind of have an idea for your deck, you can just go through it and pick what you want. There is, if you want a specific filter, you can filter by certain types. So, like, you can go and look, you can search for cards, you can look for, they want attack cards. Attack card 1. Have an attack of 1, and so forth. Resource mental. Show me all my mental cards. So there's all different ways to filter if you want to look at it that way. But honestly, you can just kind of scroll through and see the cards, especially if you know the cards pretty well, or at least know kind of the names to match them up. There's no need to kind of allow the filters in my opinion. So with that, I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this little video showing you how to build a deck here. Again, really easy, kind of shows you how to do it. You can kind of easily see ways to change aspects, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So I'm curious to see what kind of decks you guys build in Marvel Champions using this website. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below, and thank you guys for watching this video.